Hi campers. In this video I'm going to address a problem that may occur that you may be noticing very soon after you have fitted your airbags to your Fiat Ducato or your Citroen Relay or your Peugeot Boxster, etc. I was made aware of it pretty soon after, and it relates to something quite straightforward and simple in that the handbrake cables are attached to your leaf springs in most cases, not all cases. It's not going to affect everyone, this one, but what I wanted to show you is what can occur with different settings in terms of air pressure in the airbags. So underneath my Fiat Ducato, you see my airbags, and you've got your leaf spring running across here, and this one here is your handbrake cable. Now mine is attached by this clip which just supports the cable to the leaf spring, and then the cable goes off into the back of the hub. Now what's happening, or what can happen, is as you inflate your airbag and the chassis rises up and away in effect from the axle, this cable gets pulled really tight and it can apply your handbrake without you knowing it. Exactly the same scenario on the other side. Now my handbrake is currently on, so this cable is quite taut because it's under load, because my van on shady ramp system at the moment. So it's quite a simple fix, but I will demonstrate what happens as the airbags rise on a higher setting. What you should hopefully see is, as I go and inflate the airbag, you'll see the distance that changes between the leaf spring there and the chassis up here. So that's what we'll do. We'll release the cable from the spring that's being held to the leaf spring, just to give the cable free play, and also it won't be affected by the height that you have your airbag set at. Looking at the spring sitting on top of the leaf spring, you should be able to prise that cable out of there. Now bearing in mind my cable is quite taut because the handbrake is on, but I'm going to try and release that, but I can't do it with the phone in my hand. Couldn't get that out with my fingers. It's not helping that the cable is so taut because the handbrake is on. I did try wedging up the front wheels so I could release the handbrake, but even in gear it just wanted to turn the engine over. So I've got a pair of grips on the bottom of the clip, push the clip up a bit like that. You can see what I've done there. Release it. So I've now moved my grips to the top of the spring in here, and I'm just gonna, sorry, it's really hard to hold the camera and do this at the same time. So you can see these are the nose of my grips, and I'm on the other side of the spring, and I'm just gonna push it back like that, which has now almost released the cable. It's well snug in there. Hallelujah. And there's the spring, and now the cable is absolutely free from the leaf spring. So you can imagine that that was being pulled right down here, which is going to add tension to your handbrake cable. I'll do the same with the other side and have a little clean up, and then demonstrate it again. This side should be easier because the airbag is totally deflated, although the cable does still feel quite taut. So both clips now removed. This is the handbrake cable, and I have put a cable tie up through this hole in the chassis there, just to give it a bit of lift. They are quite taut and you can manipulate them a little bit in terms of shape, and they seem to hold their own, but there's good clearance between the airbag and the handbrake. The handbrake is currently on full, so this is about as taut as the handbrake cable is going to get. Same on the other side. Good clearance between the handbrake cable and the airbag. I've had a bit of a spray up while I'm under here, just a bit of a maintenance check, and I've put a little cable tie through the chassis again there, just to give it a little bit of lift. But again, the handbrake cable is on, or the handbrake is on, and it's about as taut as it's ever going to get. So when you release the handbrake cable, it doesn't move anyway, it just releases the tension inside of the sleeve. So I'll give you a little demonstration now of the fact that regardless to where your airbags are in terms of pressure, the handbrake cables should no longer move or be tempted to move, because they're not connected to that leaf spring anymore. Hence, they won't pull up when the handbrake is off if you had them on maximum pressure. So the handbrake cable hasn't moved, still got good clearance between that and the airbag. The airbags are sitting currently at about 3.5 bar a piece. Same over there. No more affecting the handbrake pull up. Simple as that. So fingers crossed, that should be it. No more issues with the handbrake. There is a way of finding out or testing without going underneath the vehicle after you've attached or fitted your airbags. The way I found out that I had a problem with the handbrake was I had the airbags probably about 3 or 4 bar, so they were quite high. And I noticed when manoeuvring around in the yard, for example, very slowly, you release your handbrake, but I was getting a squeaking from the brakes. And it was only when I let the air pressure out of the airbags that the squeaking stopped. And it felt just like the handbrake was pulling up a little bit. Not major, but enough for the fact that the pads were clearly rubbing on the discs. And that's what drew me to that problem, or that thought that the cable was being pulled too tight as the vehicle was rising and slackening off when it fell. Anyway, I hope that's of help. Hope that helps you out. So what? I've been suffering with sciatica for the last 10 days and it's absolute hell. If you've ever had it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm getting better, but God, it's a painful exercise. Thanks for watching. More coming up on the Fiat. I'm going to have a little tidy up underneath, check a few things out, because I'm off to Europe in August, so it's only next month on my trip through northern to southern Spain down to Benidorm. God help us. But anyway, yeah, just going a few check overs and that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you up in the next one. Those guys that follow the Porsche, but I've got to get on to those couple of little initial faults that I had with the car after running it out for the first time. last week. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye for now.